Hey guys, Harsh here and welcome back to yet another weekend vlog. Today, let's talk about how to buy the perfect smartphone. Without wasting any more time, let's begin. Okay, so first up we need to understand the term perfect smartphone. So there is no perfect smartphone overall, like there is no best smartphone available on the market. But there is a perfect smartphone for you. There is a smartphone which will suit you the best and you can call it your perfect smartphone. So let's talk about how to find that perfect smartphone for yourself. I have broken it down into 5 things that you need to consider before you find a perfect smartphone. So let's get to them. At number 1, let's talk about the use of this smartphone. So let's say I'm going to buy a smartphone and the first thing that should come to my mind is what am I going to use that smartphone for? For example, I am a videographer and a photographer, so I'm going to click a lot of photos, a lot of videos with my smartphone, and as well I'm going to do a lot of my work on my smartphone itself. So you need to know your use with the smartphone. Maybe you're a person who is just going to use it as a phone, like to make calls and text messages, nothing else. Or maybe you are a heavy user, like you like to game a lot or you like to use heavy apps. So first, decide your use. Hear that? That's a Lamborghini. So the bungalow just in front of my house took a Lamborghini. It's awesome. But anyway, moving on, at number 2, let's talk about priorities. Well, yeah, priorities. So as I mentioned before, if I go to buy a smartphone, I like to click a lot of photos and videos with it. That's why my priority will be camera and also performance, because I hate it when my phone lags down. So that's why I need to have good performance and camera. Even if the smartphone does not have great battery life, that would be okay with me. Lamborghini is firing up, dude. But anyway, so where was I? Yeah, priorities. So even if my smartphone does not have good battery life, that would be okay with me. My priority is camera and performance. Just like that, you need to find your priorities with your smartphone. So after you find out the use, after you decide what you're going to do with your smartphone, you have to set priorities, and then accordingly you have to find the perfect smartphone. So use is done and priorities are done. That brings us to the third and the most important point, that is budget. You need to decide your budget beforehand, and that is pretty obvious, like everyone does that. So if you go to buy anything like tech or non-tech or whatever, you have a budget in mind. Some people are lenient with the budget, but some people are on a strict budget. So say for example you have a budget of 20,000 rupees and you cannot go above that. It is strictly 20,000 rupees. Then you should find for phones under that price bracket. But if you are a person who does not mind spending a lot on his smartphone, then you can go as high up to 40,000-50,000 or maybe even a lakh if you want to buy the iPhone 10. So you get the point that your budget also plays an important role when you find the perfect smartphone for yourself. Moving on, the fourth point is market research. Well, someone may ask how to do market research. It's pretty simple. You go to websites like YouTube or some reviewers website and find phones which suit your priorities. So for example, camera is your priority. Go to YouTube and search best camera phones under a particular price point, and I'm pretty sure you will find some interesting videos. If you haven't done that yet, you should go ahead and try that. And also you can Google this so that you get websites where you can find interesting articles about the phones that are in the market or upcoming phones under your price bracket and which suit your priorities. So market research is a very important point. You cannot just go ahead and buy a phone and expect it to work very well. That's why you need to do market research, because the reviewers do use the phone and then they post out their review. That's why you should watch reviews before you buy any smartphone. Well, this brings me to my last and final point, that is narrowing it down to your perfect smartphone. Well, the name is big, but it isn't rocket science. All you have to do is narrow down the choices and find your perfect smartphone. So after doing all the 4 steps, if you have only one smartphone that shows up, then go ahead and buy it, well and good. But after the 4 steps, if you have a couple of smartphones and if you are still confused which one to buy, then you should follow this step. So say you have a comparison between Google Pixel 2 XL and the iPhone 10. Well, the 2 best smartphones available out there. How do you choose the perfect smartphone for yourself? Let's take my example. If I were to choose between the Google Pixel 2 XL and the iPhone 10, I would go with iPhone 10 because I have a lot of other Apple products. Like my Apple Watch here, I have a MacBook Air, and I also have an iPod. So I have a lot of Apple products, and that's why I trust in Apple. They've been working really fine, and I know that if I go ahead and buy an iPhone 10, it would work great with those products. On the other hand, if you don't have a lot of Apple products and if you don't like iOS, then you can go ahead and buy the Google Pixel 2 XL. So the last point really comes down to your personal preference. What do you want and which company do you trust more? That you should think about, and then you have your perfect smartphone. So all you need to do is follow these 5 points and you will have your perfect smartphone. So finally, to conclude everything, I would just like to say one thing, that I know that many smartphones are launched every month or so, and that is kind of discouraging because you get confused as to which smartphone to buy, and after you buy a smartphone, it might get replaced by a newer version very soon, which is kind of bad, but we cannot do anything about that. So I would just like to say that don't be discouraged by it. If you think that a smartphone is perfect for you, just go ahead and buy it. Don't think twice, because that would make your decision even harder. So for example, if you've set your eyes on a particular smartphone, go ahead and buy it. The chances of it satisfying you are way higher in today's modern world, because all the manufacturers are creating some awesome phones out there. So believe in technology and go ahead and enjoy your smartphones. So anyway, I hope that this video helped you out in some way or the other, and if it did, then let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this content, go ahead and smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on my social media profiles. All the links are available in the description box below, and yeah, you can go ahead and follow me over there. My name is Harsh Punjabi, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And cut.